Hi, I'm Kyle Hort, Executive Director of the Cañon City Area Recreation and Park District. This is our second video installment about the district, and today we're focusing on funding, where our funding comes from, and how we compare with other taxing entities in our community and other special districts that focus on recreation around the state of Colorado. Now, for our funding, we receive mill levy, which is property tax through the voters within the Cañon City Area Recreation and Park District. Right now, that's a little over 28,000 people in the district, and we get about $1 million a year right now. Our mill levy is set at 3.509. Due to abatements, that jumps up to 3.514. And we are one of the lowest funded recreation districts in the state of Colorado, and locally we are one of the lowest. We are one of the lower funded taxing entities. We have never had a mill levy increase with the recreation district. It hasn't happened in our history. So if you have a $300,000 home and you live here within the district boundaries, essentially you are paying just under $71 annually, and that works out monthly to a little less than $6. That's if your home is valued at $300,000. Now, to balance our budget, because things are so tight, we do have to pull from reserves, and we're doing deficit spending and have so for about a decade now because of our current funding levels. Now, as far as how we compare with other taxing entities within our community, here's what your property tax looks like. If you take your property tax in the form of a dollar, these are the percentages. Within the city of Cañon City, we get 4%. Okay, so 4% of the dollar will come to the recreation district. Meanwhile, you can see where Cañon City schools are, as well as the fire district, Fremont County, City of Cañon City. The water districts are the water conservancy districts. There are two of them that are on the very end. They are the lowest funded. But for the recreation district, it's about 4 cents on the dollar. Meanwhile, if we're outside the city limits, because the rec district is larger than the city of Cañon City, you can see we are still at 4%. The yellow highlighted area shows what we get out of $1. Meanwhile, you can see where Cañon City schools at 52%, the fire district at 28%, and the Fremont County comes in at 14. So that is where we stand in comparison with the other taxing entities in our community. Now, as far as the state goes, if you look at it from a per capita standpoint, so what does each person represent? So within our community, each person represents $33 or $39.78. The next lowest funded recreation district is in Elizabeth at $61. Then there's Bennett at $83.69. Fairplay, which is the South Park Recreation District, comes in at just over $90. Strasburg is over $101, and Montrose is nearly at $110. Montrose is probably the community demographically that compares the closest to us. But you can see from a funding level, we are not keeping up with the other districts within the state of Colorado. We are one of the lowest funded. The only recreation district funded at a lower level than us is the Penrose Park and Recreation District at just under $30 per capita. But because of that funding, it makes things tight, meaning that we have to maintain 300 acres of property. We have never had a tax increase yet. We have constantly added property, as well as numerous programs, all to serve the public. But in order to save money to replace the Ichabod pool, it's simply not there. We do not have a funding source in which to replace the Ichabod pool. I hope this answered some of your questions on funding. We will go into more detail in our next video in regards to funding. Thank you very much for your time.